Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. So, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my new project. As everyone knows, that I've recently started teaching woodworking to all segments of and all ages of people, adults and as well as little kids and students. Now, so one of the projects that I was thinking is I have a 6-year-old son, and he's I have been actually woodworking for the last many years, and it actually started when he was born. That's when the hobby really started picking up. This was back in 2019, and he has seen me throughout many years that I actually do these things. So he's excited. He's always he's actually picked up on terminologies, and he keeps going around telling people that Baba made this table, that table, and this thing. And I was actually thinking of making a workbench for him, a dedicated workbench for a 6, 7-year-old kid. And this is one of the initial first iteration of that. So this is made of solid walnut. Because it's small, so it didn't take so much wood. And let me just share with you what the dimensions and everything is. It's still work in progress, so I suppose there is a lot still to be done. The overall top is 18 inches, and it's been made in 2 slabs. So if I lift this in the middle, this is a 7.5 and 9. So this is a 9-inch, 7.5 inch. So this is the face. This is the face. And then we have this in the middle. And the idea for this is that we are going to have holes and different sites, different kinds of, to put tools in it. So a chisel can go, a saw can go. I'm not even sure whether I would allow him to use chisels and saws, but I build it nonetheless. So that's still to happen, and then it obviously just falls and fits in here. It's about 3 feet long, the top. It's exactly 3 feet long, and put together it's 18 inches. It's exactly 1.5 feet, and the height. Now the height is something that I've been confused about because I wasn't sure how much would a kid really need. This is a 28 inch. But we always have an option of reducing if in case he is not comfortable with the height, with this height. Now, there are a couple of things that still needs to be added. The one thing that I need to add is a tail vise and then a shoulder vise that I intend to do. So I will buy a 4-inch small carpenter vise, which I will use as a shoulder vise. And what I was thinking is that I will put in this, I will make a, I will take this part out and I will put in a tail vise at this end. So I was thinking of buying a threaded rod about 8 inches long, like this. And I think I'll do a 2-inch opening here, which will go at around 8-inch into the table. And then I will put in another piece of wood here, which I will just, fit with this. And the way I'm going to do it, I'll put in threaded inserts. So probably 1, 2, 3, 4 threaded inserts, or maybe 3 threaded inserts. And the next piece, I'm going to just put it down with a hex screws. I think that will make it good, strong, solid. And then we will have a handle, a small handle. I think I'll use this one actually, if I can show you. Don't know where my, yeah. So a handle like this, it will go at this corner to use for opening and closing the mouth. And then we will have a dog bench, and after every 4 inch intervals, we will have a dog bench with which we can actually clamp down things, and he can work on if he wants. And then we'll have a shoulder vise here for opening and closing, and we use this part. And so this is the idea for a workbench for a 6 or 7-year-old kid. What do you think? I think it's great. I'm actually really looking forward to starting classes for the little ones. I have been teaching 15-year-old, 12-year-old, 13. So we do have classes from 12 till 18 and even the adults. But what really excites me is that I need to actually get these kids, the really little ones, to actually start learning woodworking. And that's something that I've been working on. And I think this is the first step. There's another idea that I have, and I'm going to share that with you. It actually came out of, this is my shooting board. So I think I shared it earlier with you. But I actually was thinking of looking at a shooting board. I was coming up with an idea for little kiddies, so 7 and 8-year-old kids, to actually start learning woodworking. And the idea that I had is that if instead of having something like this, just think of this not as a shooting board, but the idea is similar. If we make multiple grooves here, right, for T-traps, and they go in a grid pattern, like a chessboard, and we take small clamps, 2 small clamps, but those small clamps can then move around based on those T-tracks. And we can put down things and clamp things down with those clamps on a surface as big as this. And I think that's something which the kids can really use to clamp down things, and then if they want to use any tool on it, that they can do. We could also add a couple of small pieces of wood to actually give them, if they want to. The reason why I wanted to make this is if a kid wants to screw 2 pieces of wood together, how would they do it? They're going to move on them, because the moment they start to push the screws with a drill or whatever, they're going to move on it, or even with a screwdriver. So the idea was that if you have something like a piece of wood which can move around and it's flat, and you put a flat surface next to it and clamp it down, and then you take another piece of wood, bring it here, and you put your material here and clamp it down, then you can create that situation where you can, without being able to hold anything, everything is put in place and they're clamped down, and you can just simply start screwing the pieces together. So that was the idea for this whole chessboard kind of thing. The other thing that I was thinking about is that what if we put miter slots here? So we put another, like a saw for making sure that we have a straight cut, a 90-degree, 45-degree bevel cuts and miter cuts and so on and so forth. So what we do that is that we create something over here. We have one piece of wood, another piece of wood, an opening here, and then we have 90-degree right angle, 45-degree angle. So if you put a piece of wood here, and the kids just bring in their saw, so the saw is not going anywhere, they're not holding it and moving it around, they just put it in place and they go about and make the cut, 45-degree, and that helps them do sawing. This helps them to screw down things or screw 2 pieces of wood. And then the next thing is that maybe if we continue, we can also use a block plane. And I don't know where my block plane is. Yeah, here it is. Maybe these kids can use a block plane, which they can use for planing. And if there's a shooting board, but in the case of the kids, we can also consider this as a guide. It's like a rail, and so their hand is not going anywhere. And if we were to give them a piece of wood or something, Okay, I don't know if that can work. So here's the idea of this is like something for the sawing purposes, and if you have something like this, we can maybe put a stop end. Yeah, so I think we can do something here. I think we can do here. We need the kids to be able to do three things. First, to use screws and put pieces together. Second, to cut and saw. And the third, to plane. And I think something like this can really work. We will need T-tracks here. Maybe not T-tracks. Maybe we can just make grooves in here with a T-bit. Is that a T-bit? Something like a T-bit. A T-bit which can create grooves here, and in a chessboard pattern, a great pattern. And we can move things around. We can move the clamps around. We can move the pieces of wood around, which will act as a support. And I think we can do really good with this. So as I said, I am trying to get the little ones on board, and I'm excited to do that. I have a 6-year-old boy of my own who is really amazing, and I would love for him to pick up on this habit, this hobby, and learn. And I think we can do the same for other kids. So I thought I'd share it with you. Thank you so much. These are some of the ideas that I have. Take care.